do have to address some of the things I heard this week. So I got here on Saturday, and throughout the week, I heard people saying things that are like, that doesn't sound quite right about JD AdWords. So I'm going to address some of those and try to debunk some of the things that are being said, and especially our competition, SAP and the other ones are putting on talking to customers about. So the first thing we hear a lot is Oracle no longer sells JDE, so they won't continue to support it, right? So you guys heard from Lyle, that's not true. I mean, you heard a statement, we'll be supporting JD AdWords through 2028. Very strong commitment from JD AdWords, so that's just not true. The other piece that we hear a lot is Oracle no longer is investing in JD AdWords. Are you kidding me? 921, UX1, IoT Orchestrator, so many new enhancements. Also not true, right? Next one, all customers will migrate to ERPX. And depending who I talk to, ERPX is Oracle Cloud Apps, is SAP, is NetSuite. So we don't believe that. We believe you guys have been running JD AdWords for a long time. You made significant investment in the ERP, in getting JD AdWords to mold and work with your business. There's tremendous risk for moving to another ERP. And quite honestly, JD AdWords is pretty good. There's not a lot that it's lacking that justifies the risk and the investment to make that transition. So we also don't believe that's true. Now, one of my favorite ones is, this is the last Collaborate for JDE. I'm going to miss you guys, I have to say. I mean, I enjoyed coming here so many years. I've done so many sessions. Of course, that's total nonsense. Quest has a really nice arrangement already for next year and years to come. So I hope I'll be here in a few more years presenting to you guys. I intend to be coming here as long as I can, and Jeremy invites me to come over. So those are the things that we hear. The one question that I get that is a little bit harder and takes more time to debunk is people say, well, but JD AdWords is legacy. JD AdWords is not modern. So I got tired of hearing that. And I said, let's talk to CIOs, customers, and employees and understand what do they mean by modern ERP. So we came up with a checklist of what a modern ERP is. And I think a lot of you will agree with this. We talked to a lot of people to get that list together. And I'm going to go one by one and show and prove to you guys that JD AdWords is a modern ERP, that we fulfill all those requirements. The very first item on the list, a modern and personalized user interface and user experience. I mentioned earlier, Cafe One, UX1, the JD AdWords web client is as fast as performance and any other ERP in this space, and has been for a long time. So we have that, so we can check that box. Mobility, a lot of emphasis on mobility, a lot of clients taking over, mobile applications, tablets on the field. JD AdWords has over 100 mobile apps on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. We definitely have that, easy. Now, support for modern business practices, right? Depending on your industry, depending on what your company does, this might be different. But think about watch lists and springboards on UX1. Think about online financial integrity, financial reconciliation, sorry. A lot of different things have been done in the product to support modern business practices. The Oracle product team has done a good job of continuing to improve this product to make it relevant for all the different industries. This is definitely something that JD AdWords can handle. Scalability. We talk about scalability, people think I'm going to talk about bits and bytes because I usually presenting technical sessions, but this is not what I meant here. I'm talking about, can the ERP scale with your business? What if you acquire another company? What if you have one branch plant, one factory, you're going to expand? We have some of the largest companies in this country running JD AdWords. JD AdWords can do it. We're yet to find a business requirement that JD AdWords cannot fulfill. Sometimes it's a little customization, but it definitely can be done. So the product can scale. From a technical perspective, we have customers with close to 7,000 concurrent users in JD AdWords, and it works. No issues. It performs well. So we can check that box. The next one is cost. So this is one of the areas that I really think JD AdWords shines. As a product, as a license, the add-ons, the support fees, it's not that expensive if you compare to other ERPs. But where it really shines is the TCO, the cost to maintain and operate JD AdWords. I have an interesting story for you guys. We have a customer that they have multiple divisions, all running SAP. And one of their divisions running JD AdWords. They hired us to do their upgrade. So we upgraded them, and the go-live date, I was doing all the CNC work. We had another functional resource and a developer. That's the project, that's the team for the upgrade. So first day of go-live, we're there on site, and comes the global CIO, right? He managed all the other ERP, SAP, and all of that. He comes into the room and says, so how's it going, guys? I said, oh, it's great. And he said, oh, can I meet the project team? And I said, well, that's it. It's us. And he couldn't believe. He said all the other go-lives in all the other divisions, even smaller divisions, had at least 12 SAP resources to support that go-live. So we see this all the time. JD Edwards is very robust and is somewhat inexpensive to maintain, especially if you compare to the alternatives in the market. The next item to JD Edwards that it definitely complies, and I think this is probably where JD Edwards also shines, is flexibility, processing options, versions, user overrides. Now 921, you can hide fields from screen, you can create custom grids. There's a lot of flexibility in the product. I know sometimes that can backfire. I know customers that have 4,000 or 5,000 customizations in JD Edwards, but it can be done, right? You can make that decision. You control that. The product can do. If it doesn't do, you have to make a decision. Am I going to customize that or not? So JD Edwards as a platform, as Laia mentioned before, it can do. It supports a lot of parameterization, configuration. It's a very flexible product. So we can check that box as well. Another area that JD Edwards has really improved in the last few years is interoperability. BSSV, right? Web services, SOAP, XML, AIS, you can use REST, JSON, RTE, pushing events, notifications, Z files if you want to insert things to the database. So JD Edwards does it all. You know, I have a lot of friends in the SAP business, in the e-business. JD Edwards is as good as any of the other ERPs in this space when it comes to integration. Fairly easy to integrate, very robust capability. So we can check that box as well. Security is another item that the CIOs told us should be on the list. If it's a modern ERP, it has to be secure. So what exactly does that mean? So that means that you have control to granularly hide, select fields, rows, columns. JD has been doing that for decades, right? Security workbench, you can go in, you can hide, do whatever you want. But in the last 3 to 5 years, Oracle has put a lot of emphasis in security. So you can now encrypt all the communication between all the components, right? You can have your web server, of course, exposed through SSL, communicating with encrypted to the application server and all of that. So JD Edwards supports all the security, the latest security standards, and it's a very secure ERP. So we'll check that box as well. Proven and reliable. JD Edwards has been around longer than I have. So if it wasn't proven and reliable, we wouldn't be here, right? This is the proof. I mean, a lot of companies have been using, a lot of different industries. It works. It's stable. It operates. If you configure it properly, it will perform very well. So it's very proven and reliable. So another box that we can check. As you can see here, we are looking pretty good so far. The next one is globalization and localization. If you're an international business, you need to have Mexican localization. You need to have, Japan localization. JD Edwards has over 20 localizations and over 20 different languages supported. So very robust. If you are operating in other countries, we have that. Easy. IoT support. A lot of companies are now connecting their factories, connecting devices into their ERP. IoT Orchestrator came out not too long ago, enables you to natively connect to JD Edwards. Some of you might have attended some of the sessions I presented earlier this week on this topic. So it was probably one of the first ERPs in the Oracle space that had that capability. Next on the list, built-in analytics. OneView Reports is probably now 6 or 7 years old. A lot of customers are running. You can embed charts and graphics straight into your applications. You can use Cafe One to do the same thing. So you can have those analytics right there at the fingertips for your end users.